Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, let me congratulate the Economic Times for successfully curating the third edition of the SDG Summit. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the guest of honor address at the summit, which has very swiftly become a permanent fixture in the sustainability calendar of the country and an excellent platform to forge new and strong partnerships. It has been a little over 18 months since the COVID-19 pandemic manifested itself into the most unprecedented and unparalleled socio-economic and health crisis of our times. As we speak, the battle against the pandemic is still not over. The journey rife with challenges has reshaped many of our business as usual practices across the public and private sector. The crisis has also made us look at the recovery as one where our pursuit is not only to build back, but build back better for long-term transformation. This has further emboldened us at NITI Aayog to pursue our mandate of localizing and embedding the Sustainable Development Goals in the planning and processes at the subnational level. Because the SDGs provide us just the right framework to pursue this agenda. Right from the beginning, since the advent of the 2030 agenda, NITI Aayog's approach has been one of collaboration. Our states are active stakeholders in our Sustainable Development Goal action. Through our SDG localization efforts, we have taken SDGs to the states and districts. Fostering subnational peer learning and competitiveness is the approach we took when we released the world's first government-led subnational SDG index in 2018. The Sustainable Development Goal India Index and Dashboard annually ranks our states and union territories based on the SDG performance. We also continuously engage with states and union territories as the key partner to facilitate the adoption of the SDG framework in development planning and processes. This has resulted in exemplary interventions, including the institution of SDG-focused units embedded in the planning and finance departments of states to engender a whole of government approach with both horizontal and vertical convergence across multiple government departments. Today, India runs the world's largest health insurance scheme. Our Ayushman Bharat covers 500 million persons who form the bottom 40% of our population. We are creating 150,000 health and wellness centers across the country. We have built over 110 million household toilets since October 2014. All our villages and over 99% of our households are electrified, and clean cooking fuel has reached more than 18 million households in the country. Our aspirational district program aims at accelerating transformative socio-economic improvement in 112 districts of the country with relatively greater development challenges. By improving the lives of over 165 million citizens in these districts in terms of health, education, basic infrastructure, agriculture and water, and financial inclusion and skill development, the initiative highlights the efficacy of the cooperative and competitive federalism approach to development. Our structural reforms in taxation, FDI regime and insolvency has had a transformational impact on the business environment in the country. During these challenging times, we have taken a slew of measures to support businesses, big or small, and focused on domestic manufacturing and services across all segments. I would also like to take this opportunity and to use this forum to talk about the issue of climate change. As we are all aware of the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, first major scientific assessment since 2014 shows unequivocally that global warming is unfolding more quickly than feared, and that humanity is almost entirely to blame. While SDG 13 talks about climate action, realistically, we cannot holistically achieve any SDG without making climate change the cornerstone of all our efforts. Can we ensure food security or the goal of zero hunger of SDG 2 or good health of SDG 3 without combating climate change? We have taken so many initiatives. Through the International Solar Alliance, we are bringing together countries that are well positioned to invest aggressively in solar energy. We realize we cannot afford to be complacent. Therefore, we set ambitious targets. Our target of 450 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2030 is a prime example. We have made the global pledge as part of our nationally determined contributions to have 40% of cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel sources. Our renewable energy sector has become the prime destination for global investors with the potential to attract $10 billion of annual investments. These achievements have contributed to improving the lives of our 1.3 billion people. Simultaneously, we are increasing investments in domestic manufacturing capacity of batteries, electric vehicles, and solar, and in the research and development of innovative clean technology solutions such as hydrogen. New policies like recently launched vehicle scrappage policy, which aims to discontinue unfit and polluting vehicles and replace them with modern, fuel-efficient and environment-friendly vehicles, exhibits our commitment to the environment despite the impacts of the pandemic. Our clean energy in the form of electricity is not enough, as only 18% of India's final energy consumption is in the forms of electricity. The rest 82% needs other forms of decarbonization. This is where green hydrogen comes into the picture. India has the potential to be a leader in global green hydrogen story through a proactive collaboration between innovators, entrepreneurs, and government. Green hydrogen has the potential to drastically reduce CO2 emissions, reduce energy imports, and save precious foreign exchange. It will also help India export high-value green products, making it one of the first major economies to industrialize without the need to carbonize. The private sector and the industry is an extremely important partner for us to meet the SDGs. We need their support to translate policy into action when it comes to sustainable development and tackling climate change. We have built a globally competitive renewable energy industry. We are world-class clean energy players with top-notch execution capabilities. We have blue-chip investors willing to fund clean energy projects, and we are also creating a pool of skilled executives in the sector. We are also looking at innovative measures to reduce the capital costs for green projects such as renewables. While we take pride in our accomplishment, we are well aware of the path ahead in our journey. To meet the targets under the SDG framework on time, India needs to progress faster on nutrition, learning outcomes, women's active participation in the economy, gainful employment for all, and reducing pollution. Various government-led initiatives have been rolled out in these areas in conjunction with establishing monitoring and review systems for tracking the progress. We also need to embrace a brand of clean and green. Hence, I call upon Indian companies to invest into innovation and R&D. I am of the firm belief that if we do not start investing in commercially focused R&D immediately, it will be very hard to survive in the global market. Our industries must adopt lean practices which are driven by disruptive technologies. Today, we need a dramatic shift in our mindset so as to focus on the sunrise sectors of growth. It is totally worth the risk involved. And all of industry approach that is driven by lean and clean. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us all that the resilience of a nation is severely tested when faced with unprecedented adversities. We must remind ourselves that we do not have the luxury of time. We have only 10 years ahead of us to achieve the goals and the targets we have set together as one community. We cannot leave behind anyone in this endeavor. We must remind ourselves that our efforts in the coming years will determine the kind of planet our children, their children, and generations to come will be born into, and the quality of life they will inherit. Our actions for the next 10 years will have a strong bearing on our future generations, scope of aspirations and ambitions. This alone should motivate us to do our best. With these few words, I'll conclude, and I wish all the private sector participants here together to focus on the sustainable development goals and become green companies of the future. Those companies will grow and prosper, their valuations will rise, and they will get in capital at low rates if they become green and digital. And therefore, I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a real pleasure participating in this session. Thank you.